Good evening, everybody.
Oops a daisy.
That's all good. So tonight, this will be the last time we will be reviewing any movie related to Amber Heard or her starring in, co-starring, supporting role, whatever, anything she's in going forward, whether it's TV, movie, anything. This is the last time we are talking or reviewing anything she's involved in.
Because we don't endorse abusive psychopaths.
Exactly.
Amen.
Exactly. So tonight's stream is, as you know, Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, or as I like to call it, Cockroach and the Lost Kingdom. So you know the crew. I'm just gonna start my review and just try to get through the stream because this movie sucked.
So before you get started, Rob, can I just something?
Oh, please go ahead.
So, if anybody watched our Christmas special, you would know we did a Secret Santa, and unfortunately, my Secret Santa gift didn't arrive in time for the stream, but it just arrived today. My Secret Santa was Austin, and he got me, boom,
Sweet.
a new Ghost shirt. Hell yeah!
Yeah, because add it to the list of the other 5 million you fucking have.
Exactly. So, Austin, thank you. I love it.
You're very welcome. Merry late Christmas.
Merry late Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Anyway,
back to this pile of shit movie. So, here's my review. I got a lot of king shit to do. I got a job, the King of Atlantis. Not a chance. Here's to single dads. He doesn't trust you. I'm Aquaman. Woohoo! That is the dialogue throughout the film. No joke. Did James Wan really had any say about this film? Because this is the worst pile of shit he has ever been a part of. Don't know how much creative control James Wan had, but whatever control he did have was very little. Because so much of this was studio wanting to be like Marvel movie, the screenplay was credited by something named David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick. That is one person, by the way. Did anyone work with him with the screenplay? Because this was horrendous script. The story was credited by 4 people: Jason Momoa, James Wan, David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, and something that was called Thomas Pasebit. I'm probably butchering the last name, but something like that. Why were there that many people involved in the story? There are plenty of good Aquaman stories they could have pulled from. This was also poorly edited and recognizable reshoots, bad jokes, and no careness for Aquaman or for the DC comics. The special effects looked like a bad video game, and it was very recognizable. I wonder how much directing James Wan was involved in, because it looked like a Jason Momoa was directing and editing this film, because he did not care about trying to play a character and he was more focused on trying to advertise Guinness. Great beer, but so much of him focused on Guinness. Black Manta, who was played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen, was also screwed again and was wasted. Black Manta is a great character from the comics, but Warner Brothers doesn't know that because they wanted another villain to sell McFarlane toys, while Black Manta was another puppet for someone else, like in the first film. He was crushed and was pushed to the side like garbage. Patrick Wilson, Nicole Kidman was just there and was also wasted. If I had to say anything positive about this movie, it'd probably be the score. And you see James Wan has some really creepy characters with the sea creatures and some other stuff. Looked pretty cool. And Amber Turret's cleavage, I thought, was the only good thing to look at. That was on the center of the screen sometimes. But overall, DCEU ends with a Marvel reference, which defines what the DCEU became. After BVS, easily one of the worst films of the year. And my score is a 3 out of 10. Devin?
First thing I want to get out of the way is I am currently battling a cold. So if I sound kind of wonky and you hear me breathing or coughing a lot, just bear with me. The opening of this movie is a very fitting metaphor for this franchise coming to an end. seeing the opening Warner Brothers logo sunk underwater and rusting away was just perfect. I really like the first Aquaman. I think it's a fun movie. I love the world, the action, and Jason Momoa is delight as the title character. Unfortunately, I was pretty nervous about the sequel after hearing the negative test screenings, the extensive reshoots, etc. However, the trailers looked fun, and I had my hopes up slightly. After seeing it, did the DCEU go out with a bang or a whimper? A whimper. I had a hard time writing this review because I already forgot most of this goddamn movie. In terms of my positives, for the most part, the actors do a good job with what they're given. Designs of the world of Atlantis were cool, as well as its civilians. The action when it was on screen was fun. And I did like the buddy comedy relationship between Arthur and Orm. When it comes to my issues, first things first, this movie was way too all over the place. The movie was way too all over the place. The plot and story, it's way too unfocused. What could have been a story about Arthur trying to balance his life as a king, a hero, and a father, or Arthur avenging his family after his wife and son were killed by Black Manta. Instead of getting that, we instead got another dumb fetch quest. Arthur being terrible at his job, and Black Manta being sidelined again. The humor is absolutely cringeworthy. Not once did I laugh in the whole movie, except when someone said "ew" when Amber Heard came on screen. While the designs looked cool, the CGI was absolutely atrocious. Not as awful as The Flash, but everything looked cheap and unfinished. Arthur acts like a loud, obnoxious dumbass throughout the movie. He was giving me flashbacks to Taika Waititi's Thor. You don't want to remind someone of Taika Waititi's, as I say his name. While I said the acting was good, there's two exceptions. One is Randall Park. Why does this guy get roles? When has this guy been good? He is terrible, and he is banned in everything I have seen him in. Like, he's a wet sandwich. That's all he is. Just no charisma, nothing. He's a wet sandwich. And then you have Amber Heard. Not only was her performance a downgrade compared to the first one, even though her role was reduced, she still played a major role in the story, and I hated seeing her face. How many moments could she have died? Instead, they brought her back, including saving fucking Arthur's life. Like, no. We do not want to see her be a hero. We want to see her die. In conclusion, Aquaman Lost Kingdom could have been a fun time, just like the first movie, and a decent send-off to the DCEU. But sadly, it wasn't. It's not the worst comic book movie of the year. That's still The Flash. Nor is it the worst DCU movie. To me, that's still Suicide Squad. It's just a bad, bland, forgettable movie that just goes one ear and out the other. I'd say skip this one, but if you're really curious, I'd say just wait till Max. 4 out of 10.
Max.
And yes, Amber Heard is in the movie Graveyard.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It's a bad sign. I'd rather watch the Aquaman sequel in the Entourage universe directed by Michael Bay. So when it comes to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, it's one of those movies where I don't hate it as much as everyone else did, but it's still not a good movie. It's definitely a movie similar to Babylon, where I feel like there's a good movie in there somewhere with a lot of really good ideas, whether it was WB, probably, James Wan under pressure, Jason Momoa wanting more, getting his fingers into the script more, who knows, but a lot of greatness from plot lines and subplots and all that, it fell to the wayside. Everyone does do a good job. I don't get the hate for Randall Park in all honesty. I always think he's usually pretty funny. Nothing made me laugh out loud in this movie. Obviously, the humor was not good, but he did give me a couple nose exhales, like 3 of them, but that's got to count for something, right? Don't fuck with Asian Jim. But with that, the rest of the performances are like subpar. Jason Momoa, yeah, he's definitely like Chris Hemsworth's Thor in the 2 latter Thor movies, and that's not a compliment. Amber Turd still fucking sucks. No one wants to see her. I wish she fucking died multiple times because fuck this bitch. But, you know, WB, it's got a double standard for whatever reason. Patrick Wilson was pretty good. Nicole Kidman was fine for her role. Dolph Lundgren was fine. I don't know what Martin Short was doing here. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, his Black Manta was sidelined, but for what he had, he still did do a pretty decent job. Like, even though he was, you know, fucking sidelined yet again. But yeah, although the performances were like fine, like with as good as they could be with the god awful writing, which absolutely was terrible. The screenwriting was not good. There's too many cooks in the kitchen, and it just warranted a mess. The CGI not as bad as the Flash, but still not good. Really rubbery. And well, I will say like the backgrounds and like the water effects were decently okay. Like they were relatively believable. When it gets up close and personal, like there was the scene where Nicole Kidman is like on the back of like a I don't know if she was on the back of a fish or like a bike or something, and like you could tell it's not her. She looks like an extra from Toy Story or something, and it's just bad. The humor is cringy. It's like a typical Marvel movie. The dialogue is cheesy and eye rolling. And honestly, the biggest detractor from this is it's fucking boring. It's just a boring movie. It's not like The Flash where it's like rage inducing where it's like how the fuck can this be so bad? It's just like we've seen this, you know, song and dance before. You know, like we've seen this so many times, not just this year with pretty much, you know, over half of the comic book movies this year. It's just we've seen this song and dance from DC too many times, and we've seen this song and dance from Marvel too many times, as well as Sony, with the exception of their animated movies, you know? So it just it's just like, okay, another one. Add it to the list. Like, all right, fine. We're here again discussing a DCEU movie that sucks. All right. But that's if I were to say anything positive, there were good scenes in here somewhere. I feel like I don't want to totally blame James Wan. Like I'm sure he made a lot of bad decisions, but I want to think that he did try to give us something good. Like the brotherly like I remember seeing some articles with him where he was like, I wanted this to be like a brotherly thing, like a very like ironclad like brother story. And that could have been really good, but it just came off as so rushed. Like the first thing, it's like, okay, Black Manta's fucking destroying the world with the Black Trident. Let's immediately fucking bust Patrick Wilson out of jail. That's your first thing to go with? Really? That's the first thing. Like, boom, immediately bust the guy out of jail. Do you want to try something else first? Weird. So it's like kind of rushed, but like I will say the slower scenes with them were like pretty good. Like I remember there was the scene with Arthur teaching Patrick Wilson, I keep forgetting his name, Orm. Arthur teaching Orm like how to run on land. I'm like, that's kind of a nice moment. And then anything with Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Black Manta, the man, as I said, his performance was pretty good. Like even though the writing was complete shit, the man is a great actor. Like he can turn shit into gold. Not totally, but okay, maybe shit into bronze. Let's go with that. Shit into bronze. He tried. Like, and I will say he gave us something. Like, and I liked, you know, with what they did with what they tried to do with him and Arthur. Again, it failed miserably, as I said. And the action scenes were kind of fine. Like, they're nothing special, but they're fine. And as I said, I feel like there's a good movie in here somewhere. It's just trudged with a lot of reshoots, delays in regards to COVID and all this other shit, and WB being morons once again. But I feel I want to, and oh, and one more good thing I want to mention. Yeah, as we said, spoiler. So, towards the end, this could have been a good scene if there was proper buildup, like with Aquaman extending his hand and trying to save Black Manta. I actually didn't mind the scene, and I feel like again, as if there was proper buildup, it could have worked because it would have come full circle. He killed his father. He was a cocky douchebag. He's like, fuck him, I'm gonna kill him. I don't care. And you see him grow throughout these two movies. And even though, despite everything Black Manta did, he still tries to be a good hero and save him. But Black Manta is so clouded by revenge and hates him too fucking much. He's like, fuck that. I'm dying. Go fuck yourself. I kind of liked that weird parallel, like the full circle thing. It was like a full circle. The problem was no build up, no character development, nothing to warrant that. If this was a good movie, that could have been more of an emotional gut punch, but it wasn't, and it was just like a kind of decent scene that like maybe kind of sort of worked. But outside of that, the movie is just generic, boring crap with some unfunny humor and some, just bad pacing. Like it's rushed but slow. I don't know how the fuck they made that work, but that's what we got. A rushed but slow movie. Go figure. But yeah, overall, I don't hate it as much as everybody else does, but it's not a good movie. Not Flash bad, but not Shazam and Blue Beetle. So with that, I give it a 4.5 out of 10.
Oh, it's my turn.
Go for it, Austin.
All right.
Indeed.
Just wanted to reiterate to everybody in the chat, if you're watching this, I recently just came down with COVID, so I'm not showing my face tonight. But then again, this movie does not deserve it. So, here we go. The end of the DCEU is here with its final film, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Was this the climactic and satisfying conclusion to one of, if not the most messiest cinematic universes of all time? Well, to answer that simple question is fuck no. Is there anything to like here? Well, the music is alright, I guess. The acting is fine, I think, especially from I can't even say his name. Yahya Abdul Mateen. I apologize if I butchered that, but his performance was good, even though he might as well have done nothing in this film because he's literally just there to prop up a main antagonist, which I'll get to. And to be fair to this film, it does have good ideas. Yeah, that's it. I got nothing else to add. There's a lot of issues with this movie, and a lot of the issues with this film have the same problems as mostly bad comic book movies this year, and that is I have a checklist: terrible comedy, terrible pacing, terrible editing, and terrible CGI. This movie has it all, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as I saw the baby piss on Aquaman, I knew we were in for a very rough time with this film. I am not kidding. This movie is rough to sit through at points. Black Manta, like everyone said, is put to the side yet again. I can excuse the first Aquaman for doing it because, you have to have Orin be the main antagonist as well as having maybe setting up Black Manta for a sequel. However, they put him to the side for a bland, nothing villain that basically gets beaten in not even 2 minutes. What was the point of any of that? Amber Heard is in this film. Oh boy, guys, Amber Heard. You know her? Apparently she wasn't supposed to have any role in this film, yet she saves Aquaman twice and has a very long and is in it longer than I expected. Am I surprised? No. It's WB. What should we expect? This movie is way too predictable and plays it way too safe. I mean, I am all like it's one of those films where I understand you don't want to do too much, but Jesus Christ, it is your last film in your cinematic universe. Go balls to the wall. Like, what the fuck are we doing? And I'm not even done yet. What should you say? Like, the comedy is bad. Like, there's one moment in this film where you have Orm and Aquaman walking in the forest, and like Aquaman's talking about za and burgers and steak. I'm like, what the fuck does this have anything to do with the movie? Nothing. You get one throwaway scene at the end. That's it. And furthermore, back to the good ideas thing, there's a lot of good ideas here that could have been fleshed out. Like maybe the conflict in Atlantis when they break Orm out of prison. But yet somehow they ignore all of the conflict within Atlantis and then proceed to just wait till the end, and everyone's just like, yeah, okay. Even though the entire board had a problem with Aquaman even wanting to go up to the people and having Atlantis be public. So what exactly? It's so confusing, and it's just, this feels like 15 different movies in one film. I don't get it. Like, I actually, no, I do get it, because it is WB. So again, what should we expect? A mess of a film. And honestly, I could say more, but at this rate, what is the point? Oh, actually, there is one more point I have to make. The whole thing with Aquaman's dad and like, quote unquote, like, you have that emotional moment where you think he's dead, but then they immediately just go, nope, he's alive. I rolled my eyes and went, yep, here we go. This is what I expected. But again, what is the point? It's just another bad 2023 superhero film. It has everything wrong with every single superhero film this year. And while I'll be fair and say it is not the worst superhero movie this year, that honor still goes to The Flash, mind you. And no, it is not the worst DCEU movie. That still goes to Joss Whedon's Justice League. But then again, that's not saying much, because this movie, again, and even I will say this, it's not the worst movie I've seen this year. And maybe I'm being a little generous with my score because I just saw Exorcist Believer a couple days ago. So maybe my standards have gotten lower since then. But geez, this film, I do not recommend this film. And this has come from somebody who really liked Aquaman. Like, I really liked the first film. It's easily one of my favorite DCEU films. But unlike Shazam: Fury of the Gods, it has a shitty sequel. It does exactly what Wonder Woman did with Wonder Woman 1984. It's just genuinely baffling to me. It really is. The fact that WB continues this bullshit over and over again, I'm fucking sick of it. It's ridiculous. As far as I'm concerned, this movie deserves the bomb. It just does. WB, I'm not even going to tell you to do better, because honestly, you won't. And yet somehow I'm going to find a way to watch your products, even though it's honestly one of those relationships where you want to get out of it, but you just can't. I don't even. WB, you fucked up. You did. You fucked up. And I haven't seen Blue Beetle yet, but honestly, it's probably
yeah, second Warner Brothers.
In conclusion, this film, I don't recommend it to anybody who even likes the first Aquaman or any of the DCEU films. And thank God this franchise is dead, because honestly, that's all it is. It's dead. And my overall score is a 3 out of 10. Fuck the DCEU. Oh, and also fuck Amber Heard and Ezra Miller too, while we're at it.
Guys, you keep pronouncing her name wrong. It's Amber Turd. Turd with a T.
Chat. You get me some water.
Sorry, that was just 10 years of pent-up frustration that I had to let out there.
Spoilers for our next review, movie and cartoon fan.
What was that? Sorry, Dev.
I said spoilers for our next review, movie and cartoon fan.
Fill it up.
This one?
No,
the last one?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Much better movie.
Hell yeah. All right.
Oh,
my turn?
Movie. Hell yeah.
All right, my turn. Daddy's home. Okay. Austin, what you said about this not being the worst comic book film of this year or the worst in the DCU, that's really not fucking saying much because this has been an awful year for comic book films. Holy shit. This film is a bigger pile of shit than the mud monkey Amber left on Johnny's bed. That may be a bit misleading because at first, at least, I honestly thought it wasn't that bad. I see what Juan was going for, and it actually shows promise at points. After discovering the Black Trident, I mean, really, James? I mean, come on, the Black Trident. We have a black man with a black trident. It's not even from the comics. They just made it up. Manta makes a Fastian bargain of sorts with its owner, King Kordax, ruler of Necrus, the fabled lost kingdom of Atlantean lore. Kordax promises Manta his revenge if Manta frees him from his prison. It turns out that Kordax was the brother of Atlan, who trapped him and his cursed kingdom in ice as punishment for the rebellion after a bitter fratricidal war. It's an interesting concept, obviously meant to parallel the troubled relationship between Arthur and Orm, but the problem is that it detracts from the guy who rightfully should be the main villain, Black Manta, in more ways than one. First, it lets him off the hook because it takes much of the blame for his detestable actions off of him and places them on Kordax instead. Second, too much time is spent on this secondary plot that should have been devoted solely to him. Once again, Black Manta has been set aside and made a side villain, and this time in what should have been his own time to shine. Always the side priest, never the bride. It's a shame, too, because Yahya Abdul-Mateen, sorry, but when you were starting to say that, Austin, I wanted to say Yahya Ding Dong so bad. Yahya Ding Dong. Anyway, Yahya Abdul-Mateen gives an intense, threatening portrayal as Aquaman's arch nemesis, Black Manta. It honestly might be the best performance I've seen from him. Not that I've seen a whole lot. What could have been a Shakespearean tale of revenge became a muddled mess because they tried to do too much, and his performance and character got lost in the mix. All this wouldn't necessarily be crippling were it not for the fact that the film is stuffed like a Thanksgiving Day turkey with some of the most cringe humor you've heard since Justice League. Seriously, Joss Whedon would be proud. I get that Zack Snyder isn't everyone's cup of tea, but the fanboy push to Marvelize DC wound up killing the entire franchise as WB bastardized the DCEU to create a Frankenstein monster that became a bad parody of the MCU. This film has Jeff Johns and Walter Hamada's DNA all over it. The first film had just enough humor to make it charming without going over the top. Jason Momoa's natural charisma helped carry the film. Here he helps sink it. He is just too much. It feels like nearly every line has to be a joke. The jokes are not only poorly written, but poorly timed, making for an awkward, uneven tone, aside from the fact that there are just too damn many of them. The best, or should I say worst example, comes at the end, when after a brief speech before the UN reminiscent of the one at the end of Black Panther, Aquaman ruins a nice little moment by ripping off the I am Iron Man moment with I am Aquaman. Oh, the redneck yell, totally undignified for someone supposed to be acting as head of state and chief representative of his people to the entire world. I get that the idea is that he's not been trained to be a monarch, but that was just stupid. What in the hell is this, King Ralph? Look, I'm not against humor in comic book films as long as it's done well. Shazam did it extremely well. I thought both Shazam films did it very well. But this is honestly some of the worst humor I've seen in a comic book film. It's like James Wan decided to give Taika Waititi a run for his money. And the thing is, going back to the little subplot, it's not even a well-developed subplot. The villain is just thrown in there, and you don't learn a damn thing about him until the very end. And until the very end. This film had promise, and it could have been really great had James Wan not tried to do too much, kept it simple, come out some, read a lot of the cringe humor, and kept a more appropriate tone throughout. This might have been a fitting into the DCEU. Those are what ifs, though, and the reality that this is none of these things. For me, the end of the DCEU for me was Zack Snyder's Justice League. Once that came out, that was it. I was done after that. Not that I've never liked the other film because Shazam 2 was good, Blue Beetle was good, but perhaps it is even more fitting that the DCEU became what its early detractors always wanted it to be, a mere shadow of the MCU. Sorry, and that's why my rating is a very sad 3 out of 10. It was always evident that this was going to be a shit show, and boy, did they live down to expectations.
100%.
Yeah, I will say, like,
Happy birthday, Robs.
Oh yeah, let me
Happy
read
birthday,
Rob's
my brother.
review.
Yeah, happy birthday,
Let me
Rob.
read Rob's review real
Yeah,
quick
go
before
ahead.
we
Go
move
for it, man.
on. Sorry about that, Rob. Thank you for reminding us. Okay, let's see.
Oh, and congratulations on your engagement.
Yes,
my brother got
Yeah.
engaged. A
Congratulations,
fellow
Rob.
Soviet.
Yep.
Now you got the old ball and chain, sir. Anyway, so this is Rob's review.
You're
of
not all
Aquaman.
total losers.
No, yeah, just me and Devin. It's okay. And Austin and Zach. It's fine.
Me, I'm happily single. Shit.
Just
I've been there,
kidding.
done that.
I'm
Just
fully
kidding. That's
married.
just a joke. Anyway, so let me. So this is Rob's review of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Well, here we are, the final film in the DCEU before the series gets rebooted. Look, to say that I was not looking forward to this film would be an understatement. I really enjoyed the first Aquaman film, but there were so many red flags behind the scenes for the sequel. From the announcement of Gunn's rebooted DCU, to the controversy with Amber Turd, to the negative reactions from test audiences, to the slew of failures in the DCEU in recent years like The Flash, Black Adam, and Wonder Woman 1984. My expectations were so low that they could reach the lost city of Atlantis itself. It's a good line. However, I was still going to give it a chance. After seeing it, my worries for this movie were justified in ways became worse than what I was expecting. First off, let me address the obvious turd on the bed. Amber Heard. Amber Turd. We all know she is despised by the public due to the allegations she made toward Johnny Depp, and yet WB wants to act like she didn't do anything wrong. Yes, her screen time was cut down, but she was still present in the movie more times than I would have liked. There was even one time where she saved Arthur, and I just raised my arms and stormed out, a la Peter from Family Guy. I came in after I calmed down. This is a rare occurrence where I think the character should have either been killed off or hell, even recasted. It would be better than seeing this fucking bitch on the screen. However, even if you took Amber Turd out of the equation, this movie still would have sucked. This film decides it wants to follow Thor Love and Thunder's strategy by not taking the main character seriously and turn him into a joking idiot. The jokes may not be as cringeworthy as that film, but it's getting there. I groaned when he tried to copy Robert Downey Jr.'s I am Iron Man quote at the ending. The CGI looked terrible. What is it with super high budget superhero films and the CGI looks like ass, and yet we have movies like Godzilla -1 where the film budget costs less than $10 million and it looks a hell of a lot better. It may not be on the level of The Flash, but it's still really bad. Now, if you have seen the trailer, you would think that the film is about Black Manta getting revenge on Aquaman. What a concept. However, in the movie, Black Manta finds a black trident belonging to another villain, Kordax, and he all of a sudden becomes Kordax's little bitch. This is a villain who comes right out of nowhere without any proper buildup. Also, Aquaman doesn't go through any arc in this movie. He doesn't have any development, and nothing would change it if this film didn't exist. This story plays itself too safe. It does nothing to make the story stand out for me. If I had any positives, that I will say all the actors tried with what they were given. They weren't great, but at least they did what they could with what the script gave them. The designs of Atlantis and its civilians were creative. Also, some of the action scenes were pretty cool, I'll admit. Overall, what more can I say? This film has a few positive, but it's not enough to make up for the terrible writing, bad CGI, forgettable story, and characters that are either butchered or go through no arcs. I don't recommend this film to anyone. It may not be the worst DCEU film. That honor is still Justice League, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is in my bottom 5. And with that, he gives it a 3 out of 10. What didn't you think of? What didn't you think of, Mark?
I said because fuck this film. Oh no, Devin made the joke off the hook. Get it, fishes, get it. And I said I didn't even think about with that line when I wrote it.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Anyway, but yeah, I
Snuck
just
up on
like
you.
I don't know, maybe because The Flash was just so fucking bad that I'm like, it's not that.
So let me ask you a question. Would you rather see The Flash at the end of the year or Aquaman? Because The Flash was supposed to be the end of the DCEU. Like, which one do you want to kill yourself,
Honestly,
with, basically?
I will say, okay, I would say one, not because it's a slightly better movie, Aquaman and Lost Kingdom, ignoring the, the I am Aquaman, Redneck Gale, blah, 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 and the cockroach scene. I will give it this. This is not really a positive, but it's like, okay, at least it kind of ends positively. Like it ends like, oh, we're unifying the earth. Not well executed, as I have said many times. But at least, like, okay, we're unifying Atlantis and the surface world. I'm like, okay, that's kind of like a nice note to end on for the DCU. It's
They're not wrong.
For the two reasons I stated before, but at least it's like, okay, it's kind of nice, I guess. Maybe I don't know. I'm just trying to be nice. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I'm trying not to be a cynical fucking asshole, okay? Jesus fucking fuck, all right? God, don't look at me like that.
Jesus fucking fuck.
So this comment I wanted to bring up from the movie and cartoon fan when he brought up Elon Musk forced them to keep Amber Turd in the film. I already did not like the guy when he renamed Twitter to X, but what angers me is that he enabled interviews along with Warner Brothers. Well, yeah, they were fucking for a long time, even after she got married to Johnny Depp. Excuse my language, but I would think she probably manipulated Elon Musk to get her to stay in the movie or whatever. Because that's
she
just
manipulated Andy Muschietti too. I think she's fucking him now.
Probably.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing like pictures of that.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows you what kind of person she was as a human being.
She's a parasite. She digs into the penis of any man and clings on tight and won't let go until you are an empty shell of your former self.
Yes.
Yeah, like
rotten hell, bitch.
Yeah,
the thing is, like, even if Amber Turd wasn't a complete and total cunt bag, her dying would have made sense. Like, have him go on a revenge path against Black Manta, like have that be a thing. And kill the baby, kill AJ.
Thank you.
Look, yes.
Thank you. Yep.
I will always defend baby and child murder in movies because there's not nearly enough of it. Fuck them kids. But also, it would be comic accurate. That's what fucking happened.
Yeah.
You know, which led to Aquaman being a huge douche and being in control of Justice League Detroit. But we don't talk about that.
You know?
But even then, it's just like, it's accurate to the comics. Like, it
is.
It
exactly
fucked up, but it happened. Like by Black Manta, it would have worked, and then he would have gone on a war revenge path, and it could have been like this devolvement. Maybe I'll make a how-to fix video on it.
Maybe probably a good idea.
Maybe that'll happen next year.
Sure, why not?
I'm just saying. When Black Manta said he was going to kidnap the baby, I immediately said to myself, "Oh yeah, there's a baby in this."
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, I'm familiar with the story. I've read the comic story. I mean, it's
same here.
Controversial comics in DC Comics history, and and fans are split on it. Half the fans love it, half the fans hate it. So, I mean, I'm on the side. I love it because I mean, it fits. He's a villain. I mean, shit. I mean, that's what villains do. Shit.
Right. I mean, even the DC animated universe where like they capture Arthur Jr. And instead of killing the baby, they did something more like with cutting Aquaman's hand just to save the baby. Mm-hmm. They couldn't kill a child, but at least they tried to do something very like
that also reminds me of was it Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, where they're like, okay, you can't kill Tim Drake, and then Paul Dini's like, okay, I will absolutely fucking torture the shit out of a small child beyond insanity and then brutally murder the fucking Joker. Because
hell yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Over the Edge was another one too.
Something. I'm just saying, it says something when the DC animated universe is technically for kids, yet it pulls more risks and has more balls.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, and other film nerd down here will agree with me. Just look at Alfred Hitchcock. That man's entire career was built on subverting censors. He needed needed to skirt around so much shit that he became way more creative because of it and warranted better and more classic films. Like sometimes, don't get me wrong, I will always defend a director's vision. Yes, but sometimes barriers and obstacles, sometimes quite a few times, usually make better product for whether that be films, TV shows, Because sometimes you're not free to do whatever you want. So you're like, okay, I got to find some way around it. Like you see so many behind the scenes of like, like faith, a dream, and some elbow grease created something far more interesting than like throwing all the money at the screen and having the biggest, most creative vision you could possibly imagine. Sometimes that just works, So I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
just
pretty awful.
Oh, it was
Like there was no risk were taken with this movie at all.
No.
They played it way too safe.
There's just no care in the world for this movie. It was never meant to have a sequel, but because it made a lot of money, they just rolled with it and just didn't care for it.
I always
assumed that Juan he said he always wanted to do 2 movies, so I don't know how true that is, but
right.
I don't know. We could have read conflicting reports.
I do question how much control he even had with this movie, because there's some stuff I did like, and then like it just kind of goes away right away.
Yeah, I feel like Juan I don't want to just poo-poo him too much. I just feel like he wanted to make something worthwhile and just like every obstacle for his vision, and that didn't warrant something good. There was just every single thing was like prevented him from doing something that could have been special, could have been at least decent, maybe not great, but like a decent movie.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to what Kevin Smith said when he worked on Superman Lives and the Green Hornet. It wasn't really his movie. He just had to go by what the executives wanted to do with this or that. And the ideas he had was just basically shot down. So I feel like James Wan I'm hoping he had a similar situation where everything that he had was just shot down, and he just had to like just strip it down to what they wanted.
Yeah, and then he had to like be like PR for this movie. He was like, I swear, like the reshoots weren't that bad. I swear. Like it's just I don't totally shit on him, because it's like he's just like he just doesn't. He's just like, I just want to get through this shit, man. I just want to work on my Cthulhu movie. Is that too much to ask?
Go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say that David Ayer, director of Suicide Squad, he said the same exact thing for a long time. Oh yeah, the theatrical vision, that is my vision. Oh yeah. And then all of a sudden, later he changed his tone and said, yeah, that was bullshit. Sorry. He's like,
we all knew he was lying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the same thing with Zack Snyder too. When Justice League came out, he had to go out there and say, yeah, that's my movie, even though he never saw it and had to take credit for it.
Yeah. Or how although difference is that he keeps saying is Joss Whedon with Age of Ultron. He's like, yeah, that's totally my movie, and everyone's like, yeah, we don't believe that at all. Like, as much as I love Age of Ultron, I love that movie. It's a great movie, but I feel like it would have been better if Joss Whedon properly did the dark movie he really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it was 2.5 hours. He wanted it to be 2.5 hours, and Kevin Feige was like, no, it's gotta be 2 hours.
How much? Just saying, how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet they originally killed off the baby, but then they completely scrapped it as a reshoot?
Probably.
That wouldn't shock me.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I could tell. I could see the reshoots.
Well, very recognizable.
For me, it was kind of hard because I rode the pirate ship, but and in fact, I was like not paying attention. I'm just like, I just turned it on and I was just like this. Like the whole fucking time. Oh, okay. Oh, making another shit joke. Okay, cool. Like I was just not like I wasn't paying attention. Like half the time I was like, by the third act, I was just like, okay, there's another shitty CGI action. Okay. All right, Amber Turd shows up again for some reason. Oh, she doesn't die for fucking whatever reason. Okay, let's get this done. Like I just was just like half the third act I just skipped because like I'm like I don't fucking care. I don't care.
Like I was telling you guys, I forgot most of this fucking movie, and I saw it last.
I forgot half the movie when I was halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, am I the only one who thought at some point, toward the end, Patrick Wilson is way too fucking good for this shit?
A lot of them are way too good for this shit.
Yeah.
Patrick Wilson, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Nicole Kidman, fucking
Yeah.
Martin
Tamara
Short,
Morrison.
John Rhys Davies, and God knows who else. All of them
Tamara
except
Morrison, too.
Jason
Tamara
Momoa
Morrison,
and Bird.
Yeah.
They're all too
Well,
much.
Tamara
Tamara Morrison. They're all
Dolph
too
Lundgren,
good
yeah.
for this. Hell, the baby is probably too good
Yes.
for this shit.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
Oh God.
The only one who's not better than this is Turd. That's like the only thing.
I was surprised. I mean, I don't want to say I was surprised, but like, I'm not. Did anyone bought into the idea that her scenes were ever reduced? Because it didn't feel like her scenes were ever
Nope.
reduced. It just
Nope.
felt like this
Nope.
is what she had, and that's what they gave her as.
I don't buy it at all.
Yeah.
She was in there like a good 20 minutes. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
buy it at all.
absolutely.
I was about to say, Devin, I think they intentionally meant to kill her too. I think
Oh,
they
yeah.
intentionally meant
Oh,
to kill her.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I had a feeling they were going to kill her and they were going to kill the baby.
I think
Honestly, you know
Yeah.
what? They
I
they
think
should have
she
had her
was-
die in childbirth.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah,
I
made
thought
sense.
they were going to have him pregnant with her. They should have had her pregnant, and then he kills her. So
Because the thing
That's
is, there's a whole scene with Tamara Morrison and Jason Moore where they're like, "Here's to single dads," and it's like she's with the baby.
Like, you're still married to her.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, I was like,
there was
what
a
the
scene of
fuck?
that too. Like, how does that make any sense if he's still with her?
Exactly.
Is
Yeah.
she cucking him like Jada's doing to Will Smith?
Probably.
Separate.
yeah,
2023
this
was
reminds
my
me-
Oh,
This
absolutely.
reminds me of the early 2000s and some of the bad movies like The Lecturer and all those.
At least the early 2000s, like at the very least, they were like hilariously bad.
Yeah.
Like at least like there was like some like at least there was some sort of what's the word for it?
There was
Like,
a campiness
variety. Like you got like dark, edgy shit like Daredevil. You had like cheesy crap like Fantastic Four. You had Shrek the Third with Hulk. I mean, Blade. You had like gothic sort of like horror to it, mixed in with like 90s sentimentality. Like it, like you had like just like variety.
Yeah.
You know, give me 2000s, man. Like I'll take it. I'll even
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what? At least with
100%.
Hulk, it's a good insomnia cure.
Yeah,
I like
it
Hulk,
is.
honestly. I like
I
Hulk.
know.
Honestly.
It's just I can't judge, but I've heard it's
I
boring.
understand,
So,
but
like,
the
I'm
thing
just
is,
like-
I understand why people don't like it because there are things I don't like about it. I understand why people don't like it, but I like what he was trying to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that
Yeah.
I like what he was trying to do.
But yeah, it's just like this is just like just a boring mess.
Yeah.
Boring mess. Like that's
I
why
think the thing about the early 2000s is that the format just grown kind of sick because they all have, even like Daredevil has a certain campiness about it behind it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
campy.
And I like Daredevil.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
Daredevil's
like,
great.
I like it. It's a good movie. But I mean,
Not
there's
very
Electra,
underrated.
Electra.
you know,
Yeah, Electra
but, I mean,
sucks.
yeah, exactly. This is before Batman Begins came in and changed the whole game. That
Right.
movie changed everything. And
I mean, Fantastic Four was another good one too. The first one was really good. Like I liked it. It was
Yeah.
enjoyable. It wasn't great.
Ghost
but it was
Rider
enjoyable.
was fun.
Yeah.
Fucking
Ghost Rider
like
too. Nicholas
sure.
fucking Cage.
yeah, you can't hate Nicolas Cage. I mean,
That's one of those
Absolutely.
movies I used to like as a kid, but like, ooh, that has not aged well.
Yeah, I mean, it just. Oh yeah, the Spider-Man fan
yeah.
film with everyone's favorite racist. And then I also heard that
Everyone's
the,
favorite racist.
yeah, the guy who starred in that Spider-Man fan film, I don't know what the name of it was.
Spider-Man
I
Logan's
forgot what it
great.
was.
Yeah, it was like the guy, his group chats got released and he like said the N-word a lot. Like and so like and then
Thank God he wasn't in Spider-Verse. That would have went bad.
and then he and then the movie was finally released and it was like it apparently sucked. I never watched it. I heard it was bad.
Same.
Same with I think it was Superman Solar. That was another fan film that also sucked that came out this year that I heard a lot of stupid shit about. So
I haven't seen either of them.
neither have I. I just heard they were bad. So
Yeah, same here. I never watched them, but I heard about them.
Yeah.
'cause there were
Honestly,
like a shit ton of memes because they both came out the same month, so there was like a ton of memes like shitting on them both. So
if I had to rank all the comic book movies I saw this year from like best to worst, Across the Spider-Verse is still fucking amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Then I'd say Guardians Volume 3, Blue Beetle, Shazam, which I don't care. I still like Shazam Fury of the Gods.
That's so
I
fun. I
do.
love that movie.
That would be my second.
Fuck up.
Ant-Man.
I said no one.
I
The
forgot.
Marvels.
Oh yeah.
Adam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was okay. It at least wasn't terrible.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I had to Google it. Like comic book movies of 2023.
Me too.
So Marvel's was mediocre. This was bad. Ant-Man 3 was bad, and The Flash is the worst of all of them.
Yeah. Honestly,
And then we got Madam Web coming out next month.
oh god,
Let's fucking go.
I'm not gonna see.
Let me in. Let me in.
Not gonna watch it. Not gonna watch it because Sony villain spin-off movies are in the graveyard.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it in the theater 3 times out of spite.
You know what?
It's webbing time.
You know what? If this guy wants to host a Cool Kids review, he can do it. I'm just not participating in it.
No one else is gonna participate in that shit.
So you're on your own.
Doesn't Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles count?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that movie.
Oh
Yo,
yeah,
I forgot
that
about
also came out.
that.
Wait, oh yeah, I forgot.
that.
And The Killer's also a comic book movie too.
How could I
Yeah,
forget?
The Killer is a comic book movie.
That's a comic book movie also.
Yeah, Killer be up there,
It's
and
based on
honestly,
a French graphic novel.
and honestly, again, I know I'm odd man out on this one because a lot of these guys weren't crazy about it. I liked Mutant Mayhem. I thought it was a ton of fun, and I'm not a Ninja Turtles guy.
I didn't hate it. I just thought it was just kind of bland. I mean, it was just, It was just meh.
It was fun the second or third time I watched it. I just wish I got more out of it.
Yeah. It was fine. It's not terrible though. I would say for me, the best is obviously Across the Spider-Verse. That goes without saying. Second will be Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Third, probably Blue Beetle, Marvel. Then the Marvels fourth, then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and then the rest of the bullshit. You know, Quantum, Guardians of the Galaxy, then Quantum Man. I really didn't care for Guardians of the Galaxy. I won't say it's terrible, but it's just I'm not a fan of James Gunn, so I just don't care for his.
Yeah,
Shazam, Cross the Spider-Verse, Guardians. The rest don't matter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, my 5 is
Oh yeah, Blue
Cross the
Beetle.
Spider-Verse.
Blue Beetle
Blue
above
Beetle.
Guardians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those 4
Mine's-
and then the rest don't matter.
Mine's Cross the Spider-Verse, Blue Beetle, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Shazam, and I'll say the Marvels.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, yeah, I thought it was
that's
okay.
worse.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Not near as bad as I thought.
Yeah,
it's just bad.
yeah.
It's
I
mediocre.
don't know. I thought it was
what
mediocre.
mediocre.
The Marvels. Yeah, I thought it was
mediocre. Yeah.
Miss Marvel was what made it for me. I mean, she made the movie for me. I mean, without her, I probably would not have liked it. I'm sure I probably would. But I mean, she's the one who really made the movie for me.
Plus the actress
She's
is fucking
fantastic.
awesome. She is based as fuck.
She really is. She's awesome.
Aman Vellani, I think her name is. She
Iman
is
Vellani.
based
She was
as fuck.
fantastic.
I fucking love her. Like, to be fair, Miss Marvel is before my cutoff date in terms of the MCU.
Yeah.
I know it, like, Miss Marvel isn't great or anything, but I kind of just want to watch it to support her because she's awesome.
I want to see it just because she was so good at this. I'm like, well, damn, now I want to watch the show now. Because the only reason I didn't watch the show is because I just figured it wouldn't be for me. You know, I mean, I figured, okay, this is obviously meant to be like a teenage, Disney Channel, Nickelodeon type show, I mean, so obviously it's just not my demographic. I mean, shit. So I mean, I just figured,
Mhm.
hey, I'll just skip it. You know, I didn't think it would be bad or anything, but I mean, and I heard it was okay.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I thought it was boring.
yes, I've heard good and bad. Some people said they liked it, some didn't. So
Man, I was
Yeah.
just there for Tiana Paris. I really liked her in WandaVision, and just want to see what they do with her in this.
Tiana Paris was
And
good.
she was very beautiful too. I mean,
Black
She
Girl
is, she is.
Magic.
yeah,
Gorgeous.
candy eye to look at.
Honestly, that was not a bad line. I mean,
I know.
the
It's just- the
context
way
in
it
which he
sounds
said
out of context is fucking hilarious.
it does. Out of context, it does. But in context, yeah, that's totally something Samuel L. Jackson would say. That's the type of smart ass thing he would say. Shit.
You got
Was-
Quantum
was like-
over Fear of the Guards. Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
That looks like this guy's
Well,
smart, and he did not watch the Flash, and he did not watch Aquaman.
True.
Yeah, a
Very
lot of people
smart.
honestly didn't like Shazam: Fury of the Gods. So a lot of people.
I don't get it.
I don't
I
really
don't
get
know.
it either.
I said the same thing in my review. I don't get what the problem is with the film because I thought it was great.
I mean, they didn't market Shazam: Fear of the Gods at all. Just like with
They
this
did-
is before the
that's
strike,
the
right? They
problem.
just did nothing
That's
with
from
They
with
really
the Guns announcement and the terrible marketing. The two good DC movies we got this year ended up being bombs
it.
because
Yeah.
nobody cared and nobody knew about them.
Right.
And the one movie they put a shit ton of money into also bombed. So
Yeah.
it's
Yep. The
And
Flash
it's
and the
it's funny
Aquaman.
they advertised the fuck out of the two bad movies we got this year. Like almost every video I saw, it was like promoting Aquaman, or like way back when it came out, I saw so
The
many
Flash.
Flash commercials. It's like, why are you fucking like? I get you need to make your money back, and with how expensive the Flash was, I understand. But like,
Every star and director,
advertise your good movies. Like what the
Every-
fuck?
every star and director in Hollywood tripping over themselves to come out and say, "Oh, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen."
Yeah, Tom
What the
Cruise
fuck?
approves the Flash. Alfred Hitchcock and Stanley Kubrick dig out of their fucking graves to approve of the Flash.
Kurosawa also approves the Flash.
Yeah.
You know what?
The Lumiere brothers, they're decomposing skeletons. They approve of the Flash.
Also,
Marlon
I'm just
Brando
saying.
approved the Flash.
By the
Cecil
way,
B. DeMille has come down from on high to say that he supports the Flash.
and I'm just
better than the Exodus.
thank you. And I'm just saying, no, Mr. or Mrs. Production person, that movie did not make me forget that Ezra Miller is a psychopath. Just like this movie didn't make me forget Amber Heard is a psychopath.
yep.
Yep.
And think about what the last time we actually saw Ezra Miller's Flash in a theatrical release DC movie, and all that time they still didn't fix his run.
Nope.
Honestly, I mean,
He's still doing the fucking wet noodle run.
Devin, what's worse? Since you make fun of it the most in terms of these two things, what's worse? The Flash's noodle run or Cara Delevingne's belly dancing of doom?
The belly dancing at Dude is funnier
Oh, wow.
because
I find either one, honestly.
the enchantress, look at my belly dancing of doom. Ooh, spooky dance. I'm a hula dancer on a dashboard.
So, do we have anything else more to say about Aquaman: The Last Kingdom, or are we just pretty much done?
Yeah, honestly, don't watch the first movie. Honestly, skip this one.
Watch the
Yeah,
first
don't watch
one again. Watch Justice League Throne of Atlantis. Watch his episodes of Justice League Unlimited. Just don't watch this shit.
Yeah.
And for a holiday movie, go watch Wonka. It's a good holiday
you know
movie.
Go watch Wonka.
Watch Poor Things. Watch Poor Things. That movie's
Watch Poor
incredible.
Things. Watch Iron Claw. Watch Wonka.
Iron Claw, yep.
Watch Iron Claw.
Fucking Color Purple. Just don't fucking watch.
Hell,
this
watch
shit.
Boys in the Boat and Ferrari.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, Ferrari. That too. I forgot that came out.
Oh,
Boys
okay.
in the Boat.
Yeah.
God, I see
What else is in theaters? Fucking watch Rebel Moon. Like,
Yeah,
it's
go watch Rebel
garbage,
Moon.
but fucking watch it anyway.
I don't like
Watch-
I don't like Illumination, but watch Migration.
Yeah, Migration. That's a kids movie.
Just don't support WB. Fuck 'em.
Yeah, do whatever
Yeah.
whatever you do. Never give money to WB again. Fuck those.
But
guys.
Wonka is a WB movie, so they are eating themselves.
And Color Purple.
Yeah, in Color Purple. So,
Oops.
but if you do see Aquaman and the Last Kingdom,
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
What he said.
Yep.
What the Warners said. We could really use the Warners right now. Dear God, I would love to see what they would love to
Honestly, we could just Weekend at Bernie's them, and they'll probably do a better job.
see with them.
Yeah, probably.
absolutely.
Probably. Can control them like puppets.
But I think that would do it for us. I'm just gonna, or if you guys have anything else to say about Aquaman, I mean, I know our next movie is gonna be Iron Claw. We're gonna be reviewing Iron Claw.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Great
Are we
movie.
doing that Saturday? I mean,
Yeah,
we don't
let's
really have
ask
a
him.
ton of time to do it. We
Yeah.
don't really have a ton of time to do it, so I assume it's
Yeah.
Saturday.
Saturday.
All right, I'll try
Mark?
to watch it before then.
All right.
But yeah, that's kind of it. Don't watch this shit. Even though there's a good movie in there somewhere, it's not good.
There's
Yeah.
tons of movies out there to go watch before the end of the year. A lot of them on streaming service, digital, in the
Mhm.
theaters. You know, tons of other great movies to check out.
Watch Godzilla
let-
-1. Watch the
Godzilla -1.
holdovers.
Yep, holdovers. coming
Rewatch
out.
Oppenheimer. Rewatch Godzilla -1.
Absolutely.
If you live near selected theaters, namely, a big city, you can see American Fiction.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'd really love to see that, but it's still only in selected theaters, which basically means New York and LA.
But if you've seen Aquaman: The Last Kingdom, let us know your thoughts. Leave a comment in the section. Share your frustration, how much you didn't not like this movie, or maybe if you love the movie, tell us what you love about the movie.
You're a fucking idiot. Just kidding.
What that guy said, what John said. But
I'm
also-
just kidding.
but
I like
subscribe.
it.
Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to the Cool Kids channel. We'll be back with Iron Claw. Hopefully, it's gonna be this Saturday, right, Mark?
Hell yeah.
This Saturday,
yeah.
stay tuned. We'll be back with a good movie, a really good movie, The Iron Claw, the
Mhm.
Von Erich story.
Hell yeah.
Peace out, everybody.
Fuck Amber Turd.
Later.
We can well light into the universe. You're welcome, America. Fuck you, Warner Brothers.
You're still here?